just a knocker. Step in on the dance and I just my dance. Everything scatter. Right? Right now, man, active. Down with the game like a bandit. Me bring the flame like a matches. Test me now. Cut out the slackness. Active style and pattern. That's how man there. Active. 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 One live life massive. Talking up and off the brandish. Touch road and hold the world hostage. When I start the bumper clad mash pit. When me step out, those face get active. 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 Style now. Clark's on the east side. Bad bitch on each side. Big splits chillin' on the beach side. Run things where you feel like. Cake big, have a carve out of peace side. Freestyle now, millions for each line. Too cool, when I need ice in my beverage. Test this bigger, please find the exit. Right now, man, active. Gone with the game like a bandit. Me bring the flame like a matches. Let's me know. Put out the slackness, active style and pattern. That's how man there. Active. 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 One live like massive. Talking up and off the brandish. Touch road and hold the world hostage. When I start the bumper clad mash pit. When me step out, those things get active. 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 Active.
Best to give me that loyalty. Best to give me that loyalty. Cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. Cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty.
What's up, YouTube? It's good to be back. It's good to be live. Like, comment, share and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family. In fact, go on Ancestry.com and share all my content with your whole entire family tree. So yeah, today we are the judge. We're judging people. So yeah, with that being said, let's get started. right is right, even if everyone is against it. And wrong is wrong, even if everyone is for it. In your youth years, there would be quite a lot of protests against the government in your country. In this case, you used to participate in protests. You wouldn't care about the protests. Oh, these are answers? Okay. In your youth years, there would be quite a lot of protests against the government in your country, and this case, you used to participate in protests. You wouldn't care about the protests. You used to find the protests unjust. You had to choose a university, and you made your choice. Law. You like a girl named Mary in law school. Now it's time to share your feelings with her. You said you loved her. You are hesitant to tell her that. You think you're not ready for a relationship yet. You said you loved her. Cause she's girly and adorable. After college, you married Mary. Okay. As a result of your happy marriage with Mary, you have 2 sons. Mary told you you would be a great father. I thank you. After graduating from law school, you started working as a lawyer. You chose the field you specialise in, criminal law. Although you had difficulty finding free time, you were happy to spend Sundays with your family. You would visit with your spouse and children every Sunday. We would go to church. After practicing law for a long time, one of your best friends, Henry, encouraged you to take the judge's exams. After you brought this subject up to your wife, Mary, you saw her as a little worried. When you asked Mary about the reason for her anxiety, she says, "Is this something you want? Are you sure you won't neglect the children and me?" Asked the question. And you too. That will never be a problem for her and her children. You want such a carer and will not give up on it? That would be better for both Mary and the children. This will never be a problem. Mary said that although she didn't fully address her concerns, she would support and always be there for you. Little baby. And the long-awaited day came. Henry, your wife Mary, and the children were waiting for the results to be announced. While waiting for the results, I was excited. Henry comes to you and says, "I believe you have succeeded. From now on, a whole new life begins for you," he whispered. With the announcement of the results, you learned that your career as a judge has begun. Everyone in the house was in great joy. Mary looked a little thoughtful, but she couldn't help but rejoice. AKA, we made love. While you were excited about your first day of duty, you heard the horn of your driver coming from outside to take you to the office. After kissing Mary, you took your bag and set off for the office. I did. Okay. Choose your character. This guy. Oh wait. More money, Supreme Court relation, government relation. Society relation, government relation, Supreme Court. More money, society. Less punishment. More money. Guess we'll take this guy. Gets more money and he's got Supreme Court relation, you know, like really high up. Never mind the government. No charge. The notepad on your computer can provide. Okay. Comrade. Border command. Human trafficking case? Oh my god. Accepting bribes can put you in the... Accepting no bribes. No charge. I am a judge. Order! Order! Can I look at anything? No. Can I get dressed? No. Okay, leave the house. Oh, but yeah. Close your door. Okay. Open this door. Oh, I like chess. Okay. Oh, there's my files and all that, maybe. Close your door. Close your door. No. I want to see. Is the sweetheart here? Honey? Right, do the toilet before I go. Okay. Well. What was in here? Oh. Well, it's my kitchen. Not too bad, is it? Have a beautiful home. Cozy sweetheart, does it? Okay. Are you sure you want to go to the office? Yes. I want to start solving crime. Get these little turds off the street. Okay. Not training outside. Hello. You need to complete a few steps to set up your system. If you're ready, let's continue. Please select a profile picture. My name Richard and the surname is Anderson. Wait, can I type this? No. Oh. Well, make it that. That's who I picked, isn't it? So. Please set your password. Wait. Oh, I can only do 4. Let's do that one then. Welcome. Ooh. Okay. Do I have mail? I do. Border Command v Bodenbell. I think that's Cobardi. I'm going to call him Cobardi. I have sent you the documents regarding your next lawsuit. Additionally, the lawyers will come to meet with you before the trial. Welcome to your new duty. Dear Judge, we are pleased to welcome you to your new duty. The decisions you will make hold great importance for our country's legal system. Therefore, we have no doubt that you will make decisions in accordance with our Constitution. Okay. Notepad. I may need to meet with the Prime Minister more often. I should work on improving our relationship these days. At 60% maybe. My relationship with the Supreme Court is quite good. It doesn't seem like I have any problems these days. So we're at 90% with the Supreme Court. If I don't resolve the issues with the public, there could be problems in the near future. 60% with the public. My spouse gets angry with me occasionally, but for now our relationship is manageable. Oh wow. So we're not just doing cases, we're actually having to do home life and everything? This on social media, let's tweet out I'm the best. Hashtag best judge. Okay. Goddamn I don't want to go on that. It's a terrible experience on that social. Okay. Oh. News. Cobarde today. Border Command accuses officer of human trafficking. Officer denies allegations. The Cobarde Border Command has levelled serious accusations against one of its own officers, alleging involvement in human trafficking. According to the authorities, the officer is suspended of facilitating the unauthorised entry of migrants into the country during their duty hours and profiting from this illegal activity. However, the accused officer, Bowden Bell, vehemently, can't use to say it, god damn it, vehemently denies these claims and refuses to admit any connection to human traffickers. The shocking allegations have sent shockwaves through the Cobarde Border Command, an institution responsible for maintaining border security and ensuring the integrity of the nation's immigration policies. The accused officer, Bowden Bell, has been a part of the command for several years and previously received commendations for their service. Okay. The Border Command claims that Bell was caught in the act of aiding migrants in crossing the border illegally. Allegedly, during their own working hours, authorities further suggest that Bell may have been part of a larger network involved in human trafficking, which has raised concerns about the extent of the problem within the organisation. In stark contrast, Officer Bowden Bell has categorically denied any wrongdoing. Bell insists that they have never been involved in human trafficking and that the accusations against them are baseless. They maintain that they are being wrongly implicated and that they have always been committed to upholding the law and protecting the nation's borders. Okay. Got a video here? No. So, let's go to... Well, let's check my bank. How much have I got in my bank? Nothing. I'll get 600. That's my salary. Oh look, my credit card. Loan. Investments. Okay. And meeting. Andrew Moore. Andrew O'Moore, Chief Justice. Okay, Chief Justice. You cannot meet with the Prime Minister because your relationship with government is high. What about Paul Edwards? You cannot because it's high. And Sarah Bennett cannot because it's high. Okay. Examine the phone. Menu. Okay. Examine the Constitution book. This is the Constitution, isn't it? But yeah. Back out. Okay, Constitution. Article 267(1). Any person who intentionally disseminates false information, whether in writing, oral, or any other form of communication, with the purpose of unjustly defaming or slandering another person, shall be deemed to have committed the offence of defamation. Number 2, a person found guilty of committing defamation shall be punished with an appropriate penalty by court order. Article 376. 1. Any person who wrongfully takes or carries away another person's property without permission commits the offence of theft. Part 2. A person found guilty of committing theft shall be punished with a penalty as prescribed by law, depending on the severity of the theft and whether the offence is a repeat occurrence. Part 3. A person accused of theft has a right to a fair trial in court. Article 456. Part 1. Any person who intentionally causes the death of another person shall be deemed to have committed the offence of homicide. Part 2. A person found guilty of committing homicide shall be punished with a penalty as required by the evidence and the court's decision. Part 3. If the homicide offence is considered to have resulted from discrimination against the victim based on age, gender, race, religion or nationality, the offence shall be punished with a more severe penalty. Article 543, Part 1. If a motor vehicle driver collides with a pedestrian by violating traffic rules and, as a result of this collision, the pedestrian is injured or loses their life, the culpable driver shall be deemed to have committed the offence of injury or death resulting from a traffic accident. Part 2. The culpable driver shall be punished with an appropriate penalty as determined by the court. Part 3. In cases where the accident resulted from discrimination based on the pedestrian's age, gender, or other characteristics, the penalty may be further increased. Article 549, Part 1. Cases involving allegations of violence or abuse of authority among military personnel within the military discipline are subject to special procedures. Part 2. The court assesses liability taking into consideration the military discipline and regulations in the evaluation of the incidents. Part 3. Those found guilty are subject to legal sanctions, whether military or civilian in nature. Article 624. A factory or business may be sued on charges of causing harm to the environment or creating pollution. Part 2. The court shall examine environmental pollution allegations and assesses expert reports to determine the extent of damage and responsibility. Part 3. If the defendant, factory or business is found responsible for environmental pollution, they may be penalised with compensation payments or required to undertake environmental remediation measures. Article 642, Number 1. Patients experiencing health complications following surgery may file lawsuits against healthcare providers. Part 2. The court assesses liability taking into consideration medical practices and the patient's health condition. Part 3. If fault is attributed to the physician or healthcare institution, they may be ordered to pay compensation or face other legal sanctions. Article 721, Part 1. Employment disputes between employers and employees shall be resolved through mediation and reconciliation processes. Part 2. In case mediation or mediation, sorry, mediation and reconciliation efforts fail, the parties may apply to the Labour Court. Part 3. The Labour Court shall examine and adjudicate employment disputes between the parties based on principles of justice and fairness. Article 732, Part 1. In cases of fatal workplace accidents, the employer or their representative may be sued by the legal heirs of the worker. Part 2. The court conducts a thorough examination of the causes of the workplace accident and determines liability fairly. Part 3. If the employer or their representative is found at fault, they may be ordered to pay compensation or face legal sanctions. Article 765. Victims of domestic violence may apply to the court by family members or authorities. Part 2. The court takes domestic violence incidents seriously and may impose protective measures. Part 3. Perpetrators of violence are brought before the court and, if found guilty, may be subject to legal penalties. And we're on to Article 813. Part 1. Cyber attacks conducted by infiltrating computer systems or gaining unauthorized access with the intent of data theft or causing damage are considered criminal offences. Part 2. The court evaluates the severity of cyber attacks and the extent of the damage. Those found guilty are subject to legal sanctions. Part 3. Victims of the attack may bring a lawsuit in court to claim compensation for their material or moral damages. Article 879. Software copyright case. Part 1. In cases of software copyright infringement, the plaintiff must be the owner of the software or a person acting on their authorization. Part 2. The court may consult technical experts to examine software copyright infringement claims and determine the extent of the infringement and liability. Part 3. The party found to have committed copyright infringement may be liable for compensation or subject to legal sanctions due to unauthorized use of reproduction of the software. So that's the Constitution. Click on the flag. Cobarde is certainly not a normal country. Its history in particular is quite dark. There have been numerous coups in the country's past, and military juntas have ruled the nation. The people have almost become accustomed to these military coups, and is now considered a normal situation for them. But it's time for things to change. The country deserves a democratic government. Elections have been held for this purpose, and now there's a civilian constitution in place. The country is governed by the government that emerged from these elections. This new government has its share of concerns, especially considering the significant power the military has had in the country's history. One could say that Cobarde is now looking to the future with hope. After all, there is now a democratic administration in the country. This change has also affected the judiciary control. Judiciary courts that were once under military control are now conducting trials in accordance with the civilian constitution. However, this situation doesn't please everyone in the country, as there is still a significant portion of the population that prefers military rule. While the people are divided on many issues, their fundamental goal is the unity and integrity of their country. Therefore, when it comes to their country, they can compromise on many of their beliefs. This highlights the extent to which they are a nationalistic society. Although there hasn't been a major external threat so far, there are separatist groups from different ethnic backgrounds with the country. These separatist groups have been one of the country's biggest problem throughout its history. While many people share the common belief that Combardi's future will be bright, it's safe to say that Combardi holds its destiny in its own hands. Each citizen will undoubtedly play a role in the country's future. Moreover, the famous slogan coined by the people after every military coup, "The sole owner of victory is Combardi," is still fresh in everyone's mind. Inspect the folder. About the case. The Combardi Border Command accuses one of its own officers of engaging in human trafficking at the borders. They claim that the officer unlawfully smuggled migrants into the country during their working hours and profited from it. On the other hand, the officer on duty, Bowden Bell, vehemently denies these allegations and refuses to acknowledge any connection with human traffickers. Plaintiff Mark Harris, defendant Bowden Bell, defendant's lawyer Rebecca White. Okay, so let's... pre-trial? Are you sure you want to go to the pre-trial hearing? Yes. Okay. Let's talk to this gentleman. Plaintiff's lawyer Mark Harris. The Combardi Border Command. My client aims to ensure the security of our country's borders. Therefore, they prevent unauthorized crossings. However, it has been established that the defendant, who works at the border outpost, allowed migrants without entry permits into the country during their working hours, with pre-arranged human traffickers. For this reason, we request their prosecution Okay. Defendant's lawyer Rebecca White. My client, Bowden Bell, serves at the border outpost under the Combardi Border Command. My client has a deep love for their homeland and nation. Therefore, they vehemently deny engaging in any activities beyond the scope of their job description. Questions. My client has no objection regarding the case. My client has no... Gold case. Here we go, we're in the room. Please choose a card before proceeding. Your relationship with the government will increase by 5%. Okay. Order! Order! The law begins. Okay, checklist. The plaintiff... Oh. The plaintiff was heard, defendant was heard, witnesses were heard, the files were examined, the evidence was examined, the constitution was examined. Okay, pre-trial. Plaintiff's lawyer Mark Harris. The Cobardi Border Command, my client aims to ensure the security of our country's borders, therefore they prevent unauthorized crossings. However, it has been established that the defendant, who works at the border outpost, allowed migrants without entry permits into the country during their working hours with pre-arranged human traffickers. For this reason, we request their prosecution. Defendant lawyer Rebecca White. My client Bowden Bell serves at the border outpost under the Cobardi Border Command. My client has a deep love for their homeland and nation, therefore they vehemently... Okay, it was the same thing. Okay. File. About the case. Article 713 Part 1. Any individual or organisation that transports people across borders through illegal means commits the offence of human trafficking. 2. Perpetrators of human trafficking are punished according to national and international regulations. 3. The court makes a fair judgment by examining the extent of the offence and responsibility. So, examine the tablet. Evidences. Security camera footage. Okay. Notepad. Don't think I need to write anything for that. Evidence. Okay, so that was the evidence, just talk. Plaintiff. In fact, let's talk to the witness. Jeffrey Clark. According to the allegations, could the defendant have collaborated with human traffic? During your time at the border, did you observe any activities such as human trafficking? And how do you perceive the defendant's During my time at the border, I did not observe any activity related to human trafficking. So we've got Jeffrey Clark, he's 45 and he doesn't have a criminal record. According to the allegations, could the defendant have collaborated with human traffickers? According to the allegations, I have no evidence or information to suggest such collaboration. How do you perceive the defendant's defense against the allegations? I understand the defendant's defense against the allegations, but I cannot make any comments on this matter as I do not have any concrete information. Okay. Let's talk to witness Andrew Turner. Can you confirm that you worked at the border outpost with the defendant? Yes. We were both stationed at the same border outpost. In your opinion, could the defendant have smuggled unauthorized migrants during their working hours? I did not notice such a situation, and I have no knowledge that such a thing could have occurred. Did you notice any suspicious behaviour or actions related to the defendant while working at the border post or border outpost? No, I did not notice any suspicious behaviour or actions related to the defendant. He doesn't have a criminal record neither. Defendant Bowden Bell. Were the tasks you performed at the border outpost within your job description? Yes, the tasks I performed at the border outposts were within my job description and aimed at ensuring the security of our homeland. Do you vehemently deny the allegations of human trafficking? Yes, I absolutely deny them. I have no connection or involvement in human trafficking. How do you evaluate the evidence presented by Kobardi Border Command? I believe the evidence presented by the Kobardi Border Command is not accurate. I am innocent and not guilty. He doesn't have a criminal record neither. Plaintiff Mark Harris. Now what's this, like drag window? Is it just... I don't really know what that is. According to the allegations, what activity did the defendant engage in during the working hours? According to the allegations, the defendant engaged in smuggling migrants into the country. Silence! Order! Order! According to the allegations, the defendant engaged in smuggling migrants to the country. Without entry permits, by making agreements with human traffickers during their working hours. What evidence obtained by Kobardi Border Command supports the allegations of human trafficking? The Kobardi Border Command supports the allegations of human trafficking against the defendant, with evidence such as security camera footage and records. Could you explain what kind of punishment is being requested for the defendant in relation of these allegations of human trafficking? In accordance with the allegations, we request that the defendant be prosecuted for human trafficking and sentenced accordingly. Now, we don't have the security camera footage is not really, it's not going to cut it, you know? Look at the footage. It's just people crossing the border or, you know, going through the fence. It's not really, there's no faces, there's no nothing. So this checklist, we've did all that. The trial. Decision. Are you sure you want to proceed? I mean, well, I don't have anything else here, do I? That I can... Oh, wait. History. So, witness and Judge Richard. Judge Richard, during your time, Jeffrey, during my time at the border, I did not observe any activity relating to human trafficking. So he was a witness. And according to the allegations, I have no evidence or information to suggest such collaboration. We were both stationed at the same border outpost. I did not notice such situation. I have no knowledge. He doesn't. There's just no evidence. Decision. Are you sure you want this decision making screen? Yeah. Deputies do your opinion. The testimonies of the witnesses involved in the case may affect the content of the case. The sides and witnesses were heard in court and the evidence presented was examined. I can't fine him because, and I can't send him to prison. There's no evidence. There's got two witnesses saying that he wasn't involved, so he's innocent. Defendant 1. Savings, rent, invoice, back to the office. Okay, I'm back home. Sweetheart, I'm back. Had a fantastic day at work. Hello? You know in here? Hey, are you? I think she's out. Sweetheart, look. I need to do her bed. So messy. Oh wow, I can go to sleep. Hey there, let's open everything up. Nothing here. Oh, guitar, can I play it? No. God damn it. Whoop. Gotcha. That's your toilet. And this is the other room. Okay. So, let's go to bed. Are you sure you want to sleep? Yes. Your spouse mentioned that you no longer have time for your family and that this situation is negatively affecting the children. What are your thoughts on this? Work is very busy. I'll get better soon. You're right. I'll solve this issue. Pardon me. Like, she's not even home? What are you even talking about? You're not even here? So rude. Isn't it? Like, it's so rude. Accepting bribes can put you in a difficult situation. Okay, let me like fucking. I didn't even need to do that, do I? Okay. Open the door. And where is she? I'm here to spend time. You're not even home. You're just going to like not be in the house and then just constantly complain. Typical woman. Go to the office. I need a break. Okay. Ministry of Justice. And get 300 followers. No post. When making decisions about cases, we can occasionally bend the laws if necessary. To respect the laws is of utmost importance for the civil servants in our country. Send you. I love it. I love my tweet. Hashtag leave. Mail. You have been punished. Dear Judge, we have reviewed your latest case and determined that you did not apply the correct decision. Therefore, a fine receipt for 100 has been sent to you. We strongly advise you make more accurate decisions in accordance with your country laws in the future. So technically I should have gave him a fine because they still managed to get in the border because he was on duty. Oh my god, really? Is that how we're doing it? I have sent you the documents regarding your next lawsuit. Additionally, the lawyers will come to meet with you before the trial. So that was like kinda silly. Like, so just because they still got over the border. Are you sure you want to go? Wait. Hello, Richard. It's been a while since you visited. Hello, as you know, the cabinet doesn't really like me. I'm starting to think we're almost at war with the cabinet. Hello, as you know, the cabinet don't like me. Yes, I've heard some things. What do you think about the Minister of Interior? Well, we have our differences. The Minister, I do respect him. The Minister's constantly makes my job difficult. I respect him. Try and get on your good books. Thank you, Richard. I'll try to address your situation. Well, thank you. Awesome. Hashtag best judge ever. Okay. Beat it. I need to meeting Chief Justice. Okay. So, is there any more mail? No. Okay, let's that was just the normal menu, wasn't it? So let's go to the crime scene. You sure you want to go to the crime scene? Yes. Okay. Now, why is there a timer here? Let me just get a look here before anything happens. Before the timer runs out and says, oh, that's you can't observe anymore. Talk to this guy. We need to inspect the other containers. I informed the police station for this and requested more personnel. This guy. Being by the seaside is not good for my stomach. It said inspect these other ones. I don't think I'm going to have... I don't have time, do I? What's going on right now? Is the time going to run out? And why is the timer there, anyway? Okay. So... let's go to pre-trial, because I don't really know what's happening right now. Okay. Plaintiff lawyer Harper Gray. During routine inspections at the port, the body of Miles Petter was found inside a frozen food container. In light of this incident, our prosecution officer conducted a thorough investigation and based on interviews with the witnesses and examined evidence, it has been determined that the incident was committed by the CEO of the containers owning company, Lucien Foster. Therefore, we request that the defendant be punished accordingly. Okay. Defendant lawyer Laura Martinez. My client, Lucien Foster, is an important and respected businessman. We acknowledge that there was a heated argument due to the issues encountered during the recent ship voyage with the deceased. However, after this argument, Lucien Foster never saw the deceased again. My client personally also desires the thorough investigation of this unfortunate incident. However, he denies the murder charges placed upon him. Go to case. And let's take this card. Your relationship with the public will decrease by 5 points. That's bloody rude. Order! Order! Okay. So let's talk to witness Ronald Hall. What did you see and notice when you arrived at the scene? When I arrived at the scene, I saw that the frozen food container had been opened, and I noticed Miles Petter's body. Were there any other traces of evidence found in the container where the body? I did not observe any traces or evidence in the container where the body was found. Do you have any findings regarding any suspicious circumstances or individuals in relation to the incident? Based on my investigation into the incident, I currently have no specific findings regarding any suspicious circumstances or individuals. Oh, so you can drag the window like over here and all that. He doesn't have a criminal record. Okay, let's talk to Brian. And witness Brian Scott. What can you say about your last interaction with Miles Petter? Your last interaction was during the argument that took place during the ship voyage. I have not seen him since. What was the tone of the argument between Miles Petter and Lucien Foster during the ship voyage? The tone of the argument between Miles Petter and Lucien Foster during the ship voyage was quite loud and aggressive. Did you have any contact with Lucien Foster after Miles Petter's death? I had no contact with Lucien Foster after Miles Petter's death. Witness Charles Martinez. As the person who opened the frozen food container, can you describe how you experienced the incident? When I opened the frozen food container, I saw Miles Petter's body. In what condition and position was Miles Petter's body found inside the container? Miles Petter's body was found on the floor inside the frozen food container. Did you notice any suspicious circumstances or impressions regarding Miles Petter's death? I did not notice any suspicious circumstances or impressions when Miles Petter's body was found. I'll charge you. These witnesses don't seem to notice much, do they? Witness Robert Taylor. What was the subject of the argument between Lucien Foster and Miles Petter during the ship voyage? The subject of the argument between Lucien Foster and Miles Petter during the ship voyage was related to the ship's engine failure and responsibilities. How does the ship's crew describe the argument and fight between Lucien Foster and Miles Petter? The ship's crew describes a significant argument and fight between Lucien Foster and Miles Petter. Did the ship engineer Miles Petter make any mistakes or omissions during the last voyage? Ship engineer Miles Petter's failure to conduct necessary checks before the ship's departure led to a major engine failure. Okay, so he didn't do his checks and then the plaintiff Harper Gray. Under the circumstances and how was Miles Petter's body found? Miles Petter's body was found during routine inspections inside a frozen food container. What are the allegations regarding the argument and fight between Lucien Foster? According to the statements of the ship's crew, there was a significant argument and a fight between Lucien Foster and Miles Petter. What is the connection between Miles Petter's death and Lucien Foster? Based on the investigations conducted by our prosecution and witness testimonies, it is alleged that Miles Petter's death was committed by Lucien Foster. Defendant Lucien Foster. What was the cause of the argument during the ship voyage? The cause of the argument during the ship's voyage was a disagreement regarding the ship's engine failure and related responsibilities. You are accused of killing Miles Petter. How do you respond to these allegations? I am deeply shocked and saddened. I deny these allegations. Did you see or communicate with Miles Petter after the ship engine failure incident? I had no communication with Miles Petter whatsoever after the argument. I deny the allegations of any contact. About the case. In a routine inspection conducted within Cobarde Port, a male body was discovered inside a frozen food container. It was learned that this body belonged to the container's ownership engineer Miles Petter, who worked for the company. The ship was experiencing a major engine failure in the ocean, and it was discovered that this happened because Miles Petter had not conducted sufficient checks before the ship's departure. Upon hearing this, the CEO of the company, Lucien Foster, reportedly had a heated argument with Miles Petter and even physically assaulted him, according to accounts from the ship's crew. Article 456. 1. Any person who intentionally causes the death of another person shall be deemed to have committed the offence of homicide. A person found guilty of committing homicide shall be punished with a penalty as required by the evidence and the court's decision. 3. If the homicide offence is considered to have resulted from discrimination against the victim based on age, gender, race, religion or nationality, the offence shall be punished with a more severe penalty. Evidence. Security camera footage. Police report. Autopsy report. The victim lost their life due to freezing. Prior to this, there are various signs of physical assault. Diagnosis report. The victim's brother has identified the body and confirmed that it belongs to Miles Petter. Make a decision. Location where the incident took place, the evidence can be quite helpful. And he also has a criminal record. Side witnesses were heard in the court and the evidence presented was sent to me prison for well, it's manslaughter, isn't it? So let's give him 10 years, little Charlie. 10 years. Order! Okay, back to the office. Honey, I'm home. I sent my first man to jail today for homicide. He done it. Assaulted the poor man and locked him in a frozen container. Absolutely terrible. 10 years. Okay, honey, I need to go again. Get work to... you in here? You still not at home? No? Okay. Let's go back to the office. No? I need to go to sleep, don't I? Tired. Yes. Best judge ever. Like, comment, share and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family. In fact, go on Ancestry.com and share all my content with your whole entire family tree. I would really appreciate it, and thank you to those who do. Helps me on the YouTube algorithm. It does. Oh, the government is working on a new immigration bill. What are your thoughts on this matter? Immigrants will disrupt your Democrat. We can use immigrants as a workforce. Immigrants will disrupt your... They're good for the workforce. Now, rights of infringement lawsuit. Now, what happened to my last case? Like, I need to go and check. I need to go and check my computer again. See if I failed. I didn't find the other guy. But at the end of the day, that CEO, even though they had an argument, he physically assaulted the gentleman, and due to the cause of his injuries, he died. Okay. Mail. Hello Richard, I have spoken with the cabinet on your behalf. They received your ideas quite positively. That's all I can say for now. Good luck with your work. I have sent you documents regarding your next lawsuit. Additionally, the lawyers will come to meet with you before the trial. Let's check our tweets out. Profile. Post. You must take a very serious approach in various cases for the peace of our people. Every case requires the same level of seriousness and responsibility. Got more followers. I'm the best. Okay, we've done a tweet for today. Engaged with society. News. I kind of want to like, does it talk about my court cases and all that? No. I don't know how I did in my last case. Okay. Let's have a meeting. Pre-trial. Are you sure you want to go to pre-trial hearing? Yes. Talk. Plaintiff lawyer Ethan Johnson. My client is serving his sentence at Kobadi prison due to the crime he committed. However, in recent days, an action has taken place where my client was placed in solitary confinement despite the absence of any negative behaviour on his part. The prison administration has abused its authority. During this process, my client has experienced psychological and physical distress. We are filing a complaint against the prison administration for this situation. The lawyer, Auburn Templeton. The Kambari Prison Administration, my client wishes to remind that there are conditions that criminals are required to adhere to as specified by the laws. The regulations provide for the punishment of inmates who do not comply with these conditions. Albert Neuron was understood to have not eaten during mealtime and initiated a hunger strike, leading to his placement in solitary confinement as a result of this situation. Initiating a strike is prohibited according to prison regulations, which solitary confinement being the penalty. The plaintiff's baseless allegations have no basis in reality. Okay. Order! Order! Your relationship with the government will increase by 5 points. Order! Adjourned! Okay. So, let's talk to witness Terry Wright. What do you know about the situation of the inmate sentenced to solitary confinement? I have information provided by the prison administration regarding the situation of the inmate sentenced to solitary confinement. What does it mean for initiating a hunger strike to be cited as a reason for being sentenced to solitary confinement? Initiating a hunger strike can be considered an indicator that the inmate is not complying with prison regulations. Why can initiating a hunger strike be considered as inhumane treatment? Initiating a hunger strike can be seen as a consequence of the inmate being subjected to inhumane treatment because it is not normally considered as behaviour that should be punished. Laura Martinez, a witness. How was the physical condition of the inmate affected by being sentenced to solitary confinement? The physical condition of the inmate sentenced to solitary confinement may be negatively affected, but I do not have direct observations. What was the relationship between initiating a hunger strike and prison regulations? Initiating a hunger strike is prohibited behaviour according to prison regulations, and the penalty is solitary confinement. How was the situation of inmates sentenced to solitary confinement evaluated? The situation of inmates sentenced to solitary confinement is evaluated based on non-compliance with prison regulations, and the necessary penalty is imposed. Witness Gregory Perez. Can you provide information about the inmate's behaviour leading to the sentencing of solitary confinement? The inmate exhibited behaviours such as not eating and initiating a hunger strike. What was the inmate's psychological condition like before being sentenced to solitary confinement? The inmate's psychological condition was normal, but it may have been negatively affected after solitary confinement. How initiating a hunger strike evaluated according to prison regulations? Initiating a hunger strike is considered a prohibited behaviour according to prison regulations and carries a penalty. Plaintiff Albert Nuren. What was your behaviour before being sentenced to solitary confinement? I did not exhibit any negative behaviour in the prison. I complied with all the rules. What was your psychological and physical condition like before being sentenced to solitary confinement? I did not have any psychological or physical problems before, but I was negatively affected after being placed in solitary confinement. Do you consider being sentenced to solitary confinement as inhumane treatment despite the absence of negative behaviour on your part? Yes. I consider being sentenced to solitary confinement without any negative behaviour as inhumane treatment. So, Defendant Templeton. Why did the inmate not eat during mealtime and initiate a hunger strike? The prisoner initiated a hunger strike by not eating, which led to the sentencing of solitary confinement. But why? Why was he not eating? Is initiating a hunger strike considered legal according to the prison regulations? No. Initiating a hunger strike is prohibited according to prison regulations, and the penalty is solitary confinement. How is the situation of inmates sentenced to solitary confinement evaluated? The situation of inmates sentenced to solitary confinement is evaluated based on non-compliance with prison regulations, and the appropriate penalty is applied. Okay. Let's see the evidence. Police report. Inmate status report. It has been determined that the inmate initiated a hunger strike due to not eating for an extended period of time. Therefore, it has been decided to send the inmate to solitary confinement. Conditions for imposing solitary confinement. Article 13. If an inmate initiates or attempts a hunger strike, they shall be subject to solitary confinement. Well, let's see that. Article 632. Prisoners may file a lawsuit in court against penalties imposed on them by the prison administration. The court assesses the legality and proportionality of the penalty. It may annul or rectify the penalty if it is unjust or unnecessary. The right of prisoners to appeal and their right to a fair trial are preserved. But like if it says The inmate, despite exhibiting no negative behaviour during his time in prison, claimed that he was sentenced to solitary confinement and suffered psychological harm as a result, leading him to file a lawsuit against the prison administration. During this process, he alleged that he was subjected to inhumane treatment and that the prison administration unlawfully implemented its duties and responsibilities. The prison administration, on the other hand, stated that the inmate was sentenced to solitary confinement due to his failure to comply with necessary instructions and conditions, asserting that there was no unlawful situation. But if it tells you no conditions that criminals are required to adhere to are specified by the laws, the regulations provide that punishment of inmates who do not comply with these conditions. Abner was understood to have not eaten during mealtime and initiated a hunger strike, leading to his placement in solitary confinement. As a result of this situation, issuing strikes prohibited. According to prison regulations, with solitary confinement being the penalty, the plaintiff's baseless allegations have no basis. So, like, if it's prison law and regulations... Oh wait, is it prison regulations? Strike is prohibited according to prison regulations. But he wasn't angry, he wasn't causing a scene, he just didn't want to eat. And as the prison regulations is, if you do not eat you get solitary confinement, but I don't know. It's a weird one. Make a decision. He's got a criminal record. Side witness we heard in the court. And I mean, not eating though, like he's not breaking the law, so I'm finding him not guilty. He didn't break the law. He just broke like regulation rules within a prison. It's not breaking the law. Can't you know, give him prison time for that, for not eating. I'm a terrible judge, aren't I? I'm the best. Best judge ever. Public is demanding an increase in penalties for crimes such as murder and theft. What are your thoughts? You should take the public's demands into consideration. Our laws are quite good for now. Increased penalties? Need to stay on the public side, don't we? God damn it. But like, it doesn't really tell you like the outcome of your case. Like, you know. Like whether, like, what's people's opinion on your decision? I mean, cause I didn't find the first guy, I guess I got it wrong. So maybe I got the last one right. Because I followed the law. Okay, let's check the computer and see. Browser. Command you can do today. Nothing on it. Not about the times. Oh. Landowner Christopher. Quite cute. Christopher Cute. Coy, actually Coy, takes on the local municipality in a dispute over a piece of land containing valuable historical artifacts. Quite stumbled upon these artifacts while excavating his property and promptly reported the findings. I want to see like what people thought of my, or what happened the last time post. I support a new reform package. It's still too early for new reform package. I support it. Awesome. Land case. I have sent you the documents regarding your lawsuit. Initially, the lawyers will come to meet you before the trial. Bank. Okay. Decent salary. 150 in repairs and goods and all this carry on. Unbelievable. Meeting. Society leader. Public is high. Supreme is high. And that's high. I'm doing a fantastic job. About the case. Landowner Christopher Coy discovered several high-value historical artifacts while excavating on his property. He subsequently reported the situation to the relevant authorities. The incoming officials cornered. Oh, whatever. God damn it. So yeah, this was You Are the Judge. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, share and subscribe. If you want more of it, like, comment, share and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family. In fact, go on Ancestry.com and share all my content with your whole entire family tree. I would really appreciate it. It helps me on the YouTubes. And yeah, as always, take it easy. Have a good one. And goodbye.
Well, this one is a knocker. Step in on the dance and I does my dance. Everything's scattered. Right? Right? Come cross. Right now, man, active. Down with the game like a bandit. Me bring the flame like a matches. Test me now. Without the slackness, active style and pattern, that's on my deck. Active. One live like massive. Talking up and off the brandish. Touch road and hold the world hostage. When I start the bump up like mash pit. When we step out, all face get active. Active. Hey, can you stand now? Clocks on the east side. Bad bitch on each side. Big splits, chillin' on the beach side. Run things where you feel like. Cake big, have a carve out of peace line. Freestyle now, millions for each line. Too cool, man, I need ice in my beverage. Test this bigger, please find the exit. Right now, man, active. Gone with the game like a bandit. Me bring the flame like a mattress. Let's me know. But don't the slackness, active style and pattern, that's on my left. Active. 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 Touch road and hold the world hostage.